I'll be entering my 5th year of being a campervan owner very soon, and having the campervan's been a fantastic experience. It's taken me places that I wouldn't have gone and has just been great. But there's a few things that haven't been so good. So in this video I'm going to talk about both what I've found good, what I've found not so good, and yeah, I'll go over general things that I like about the campervan at the start, and then I'll probably go into more specific detail later in the video. But yeah, let's cut to me in a car park getting ready to have a quick hill walk thanks to having the campervan. Hello, I have just arrived. It is late afternoon, and I've arrived in the van, and today's video is going to be all about the van. This will be 5 years, or my 5th year of having the van, so I thought I'd do a wee review and the van, you know, things that I found good about it, things I found bad about it. Would I buy it again? What's my next van going to be? So I'm going to talk a bit about that, but I need to get going, so I'm going to nip up. There's two things I'm here for. One's going for a hike now. I'm going to go up a Monroe, and there's another event that might be happening later on. But yeah, I'll speak to you in a wee while, and I'll start to go through some of the things that I found with the van over the years. Yeah, oh, you're getting cold. Need to get moving, mate. Right, come on in, there you come. Let's go. Down you come. There she is. Right, we'll go for a walk. Let's get this car again. Right, let's go up a Monroe. Wait a minute. So I bought the van. I've been saving up for years for it. They're not cheap, but I bought it to be able to do things like this, and other things that I'll come on to. But yeah, to be able to just head off. I'm at the Glenshee ski area, at the top of Glen Begg, as you can probably tell. And it takes me about an hour to get here. And it's just a busy day today. Saturday, spent most of the day editing videos actually. Bit stressed, lots going on. I thought, you know what, I fancy getting away. My wife, Leanne, she's got her pals round tonight, so excuse to head out. And that's what I bought the van for, just to be able to get up and away. And it's perfect for that. The two things that I'm hoping for, one for the cloud to clear. There's an eagle up there, you can't see it because I've only got my GoPro with me. Yeah, the skies are meant to brighten up a wee bit. It's only an hour and a half till sunset, but got my head torch, got 2 head torches, and then I'm back to the van. So I'm actually staying up here tonight, and that was the whole reason I bought the van. I very rarely take my car, even to close places like this, which I could do easily in a day trip. I'll usually head up the night before, so I'm on site, and it makes it a bit of an adventure straight off. Not quite wild camping, but it's great. So that's the first reason. But yeah, I'm going to concentrate now and get my breath back. It goes quite steeply up here before swinging round into the cloud. Let's see if that cloud over there disappears by the time we get to the top. Right, let's go. I'll give you some more thoughts on my van shortly. A nice gentle walk, and the other thing, I just wouldn't do this if it wasn't for having the van. I just wouldn't do it. I think knowing that I can stay the night, and something else I'll come on to when I get back down to the van, means that this is a much more attractive prospect. He says, I was going to say in the white room, but it's hardly the white room. If you've been in a whiteout, you know you're in a whiteout, and this is nowhere near a whiteout. This is just foggy conditions. Anyway, I just wouldn't have done it had I not had the van. So that's another advantage. It gets you out more often, and it makes it a wee bit of an adventure, I think. Makes it more of a mini expedition. Maybe I'm sad. I get quite excited about these things. So anyway, I'll go on to the actual specs of the van, and well, maybe not the specs, but the physical equipment and vehicle when I get back down to the van, and tell you what I like and don't like about it, and whether I'm going to go for another one. Anyway, right, onwards to the top, which is up there somewhere. of nowhere.
With the cloud in, it was a bit damp and a bit cold and a bit windy, so I pressed on towards the summit of the Cairnwell with the thought that afterwards I was returning to my nice, warm, cosy van. Another massive advantage of having a camper van.
Oh, it's fallen down even more, my wee shed on top of the Cairnwell. I'm going to get my jacket on here, then head back down, and I'll tell you one of the big advantages of having the van, because it is cold and it relates to the fact that this is cold. Jacket on. Oh, it's windy. Right, let's get back down to the warmth of the van. Oh, right, I've decided just to come down the direct route, surprise, surprise. There's the van, just down there, and it's, yeah, it's been alright, a bit unpleasant, but the next thing that I love about having the van is this, getting down here, getting the heater on, changing into dry clothes without having to do it outside a car or struggling in the passenger seat of a car. It's just something, I don't know, it's a luxury, a haven, coming back down to the van and getting in there and warming up and shutting the door, and as I said, get the kettle on. I just can't do that. Usually I'd be in a rush getting down, wouldn't change. If I did change, it'd be outside, get wet socks, probably have a wet bum because my trousers would be wet, you know, getting my shoes on and off, standing in the gravel, and then a miserable drive down until the car heated up. Whereas now I'm going to jump in the car. Oh, our thing's clearing up. I can see over there it's clearing up a bit. Oh, could be in luck for the other event that's happening that I've come up here for, but more on that later. Anyway, basically, I look forward to coming back off the hill now. Right, come on Lex, this way. Let's go and heat up. I'll report back about the van stuff.
It wasn't too far until I got back down to the car park, and yeah, the van was only one in the massive car park up there, but yeah, I was sure glad to reach it, and I got in, put the diesel heater on, and started about making myself a cup of tea.
Right, I'm back at the van. As you can see, and over, I think you can just make in to the right of your shot over my shoulder is the hill I was up. It was called the Cairnwell, by the way. If you've seen the channel, you'll see that I've got up it quite a lot, probably because it's just so close to home for me. Anyway, let's get on to talking about the van. I think let's talk about the good things, the things that I really like about this van, and the things I've found in the last few years. Yeah, one of the main things that I like about it is the size. It is a long wheelbase Volkswagen Transporter. This is a T6, and I went for the long wheelbase so I could fit the toilet in. Another thing that I like about it, I've got a porta potty which I use. That was one of the stipulations. I had to have a self-contained van where I could, you know, go to the toilet and not have to leave the van should I need to, because you don't want to be littering the landscape with poos. I've seen too many of them in wild camping spots and in spots next to the road where campers are, people that don't have them. It's disgusting. Get a porta potty. You can get them for normal wheelbase ones as well and make it into a wee chair. But anyway, that's by the by. But yeah, the size is fine. It's not too big. One of my pet hates is it's been stuck behind the big fans. I'll take this down to a lot of small single track roads like Loch Arkaig or down towards the back of the Crean Larrick Hills, and those roads are not designed for big motorhomes. So I like the size of it, the width of it. There are downsides to that which I'll come to as well, maybe tomorrow. Oh, right, I'll come in here. Hey Lex. So the other thing I like about the size of the van is, because it's quite small, when you're inside, it warms up really quickly when you put the diesel heater on. Again, I'll go through the downsides of it, but when you've got the rock and roll bed up, there's a fair bit of space. We usually have the big dog cage in, and it's big enough for when I'm away for sure, but I'll come on to some of the downsides on that probably in another bit later on in the video. I love the ease of it, the bed. I've got all the bedding at the back there, and it just, when I put the bed down, it just rolls out, and it's so easy and it's really comfy. To be honest with you, I don't do much videos, but as soon as this bit of video is finished, I'll be putting the bed down and just chilling. I like to lie in the bed, and yeah, it's that's pretty good as well. I do like that side of things. So It's got an oven. That's probably, I don't really use it that often. I use the gas stove more often than not. But it's also got a diesel heater. I wouldn't do without that. There's a few issues with it which I'll come on to later on, but yeah, that's more of the advantages of the van for sure. Right, just chilling in the van. It's quite windy outside. Another thing I like about it, it's nice and it's like a wee haven, as I said before. In here, I've had the heater on. Me and Lexi, I don't know if you can see the dog. She's just sat here, just chilling out beside me. She's had her wee treat, which was some Lauren sausage. And that's another thing I love about the van. Is nothing to do with the van or anything like that. It's just I always treat myself when I'm away in the van. I do actually, in normal, away from YouTube life, I do try and eat quite healthily. But when I do come away, that's why you see me eating Lauren sausage and peanuts, and it just seems like I eat junk the whole time. I don't always just eat those things. But yeah, have a wee treat. So tonight I had Lauren sausage and black pudding. That was delicious. So yeah, really, really nice. So what else can I say? Things that I've found that I really like about the van. I think going back to the vehicle itself, the fact that it's got a pop roof, and I never put the pop roof up when I'm by myself, just because it makes it a wee bit more airy. And I don't tend to need to stand up. But the great thing about having an upstairs is when my son comes with me, there's a bed for him to sleep on. If I just had a camper van with one double bed, it would be a bit awkward. One of us would have to sleep on the floor. So that's another big advantage of it. But yeah, there's disadvantages with those things as well, but we'll come on to them. I think I'll maybe do the disadvantages tomorrow, but yeah, that's the main things I like about it. I like the compactness of it, I like the size of it, I like how cosy it is. It's just really, really good, but especially when it's just me. As I said, I'll come on to the disadvantages tomorrow morning, but I'm going to go and nip outside in a wee while, because the other thing which brought me out tonight was there's meant to be a large, or a monster aurora. Believe that if it happens. It's a bit cloudy, but the last time one of these things happened, it was when we were in Glencoe, and you could see the aurora through the clouds. So we'll see. It might happen tonight, it might not, but I wouldn't have been able to do this otherwise. It would have been a bit uncomfortable just sat in the car. So another advantage is being able to come out and do some aurora hunting or chasing. So yeah, I'm just going to chill. If I see anything out there, I'll report back later on.
Another big advantage of having the van was I was able to set my camera up on a time lapse literally right outside the front door of the van, so I didn't have to endure the cold. But as you can see, it was pretty cloudy and not much sign of the aurora.
Well, good morning. Time for some coffee and some of the things that I maybe don't like about the van, and I'll talk a wee bit about whether I'm going to go again with a similar sort of van. Not that I'm thinking of replacing it anytime soon, but yeah, last night was a bit disappointing. So I don't know if I mentioned or not, but there was an aurora storm. All these direct hits of solar activity were due to be coming in and hitting the earth, and nada, nothing. There was cloud cover here, which was kind of coming and going, to be fair, but I was really hoping for a nice aurora display, but you can't win them all, I suppose. Anyway, again, I wouldn't have done that had I been in a car. I set the time lapse up all night, which you've probably seen. But anyway, so disadvantages about the van. There's obvious ones like cost, which I'll come on to in a wee while. But in terms of the layout of the van, things like I went for an oven here. I could have had a microwave, but which would have been even worse. Well, not even worse, but even less useful, because the microwave only works when you're on a hookup. And I very rarely go to campsites and hookups and things like that. So the oven's okay, but I don't tend to use it that often, if truth be told. Occasionally, if I have some bacon, I'll stick it in and use it, but I tend to use the frying pan for the majority of my healthy cooking, and obviously the kettle is a big one. So I maybe wouldn't have that again. The other thing, main thing about the van, again, comes to the size. The things that I like about having the van being relatively small can also be a disadvantage. Now, if I'm away by myself, this is, for me, the perfect size of van. But when I'm away with my son, or probably more relevant, my wife and the dogs, we have a big cage for the dogs to go in, and it's a wee bit cramped. So I think possibly if I do replace it, I'll maybe go for one of the ones which either one the same size as this, with not with a pop roof, but just a permanent roof so I could stand up. That's another thing. The pop roof's fine, but I can only stand up in one section of it. I think I'd rather have one which, it doesn't look as cool. It's probably more susceptible to be blown over by the wind. But I'd rather have one where you don't have to pop the roof up to stand up. So I think the next time I might go for something slightly bigger. Not one of the big motorhomes, but maybe these. I think it's a Fiat I can't remember. But anyway, they're slightly bigger. But the disadvantage of those is I don't think you could have a separate bed in them. I might be wrong. Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, I think maybe slightly larger would be nicer. This van, you can turn the seats round, which is fine, but that's a bit of a faff sometimes. So if I'm by myself, I never bother doing that. It's always a hassle turning those seats round. It takes me forever to do that. So yeah, other disadvantages of having the van, I think. Basically keeping it clean. It's a hopefully you can't see it too badly at the moment, but I'm literally just back from 2 weeks in the Isle of Harris, where we took the van. We didn't stay in the van. We stayed in the van one night, but we were staying in accommodation. But I've not really cleaned it out. So that's just, that's nothing to do with the van. That's just me finding the time, because any spare time I have is usually editing these sorts of videos, to be perfectly honest with you. So yeah, there's a couple of disadvantages. I did write some down here. Let me just check my notes to see what else there was before we come on to the costs. Yeah, I think cleaning it, we talked about that. Yeah, we'll come on to the costs. I think the van itself's fine. It runs fine, but there is a cost involved, and that's a big disadvantage as well. You have to pay for servicing. It's MOT, it's road, road tax and insurance, and I don't know the exact figures, but it's over £1,000 a year when you combine all those things together, and then any additional maintenance that's required on top of that. So I had to get the clutch done. The tyres will need getting done soon as well. The brakes, things like that. So you've got that added cost of running the van, and just things that pop up with it. It's not a brand new van. I think this is a 17 plate. So yeah, you do have that disadvantage. Not only does it cost a lot of money to save up, I mean, as I said before, it took me more than 10 years to save up for this, but you've got to make sure you've got enough money in the pot for running the van. I know that that's the same for any car, but I think with the vans, because there's extra weight, I don't know, any mechanics out there, are they more likely to need a wee bit more TLC and when it comes to things like maintenance and engine stuff? I know nothing about these sorts of things, so I'm very lucky to have a very good garage close to me. So yeah, that's some disadvantages of the van. But would I still, if I knew all the things that I know now, 5 years in, would I still save for 10 years? Or would I spend my money on other things, maybe a new kitchen or stuff around the house? The answer is not a chance. Now that I've got the van, it's just brilliant. I love it. There's so many more advantages. Yeah, it costs a bit of money. There's a bit of stress involved when things might go wrong with it, but it allows me to get out most weekends. If I'm not out doing this sort of stuff, camping overnight in it, even day trips, we'll go to the beach with the dogs and stuff like that, and come back and have a coffee. It's just so comfortable for things like that, so we do use it a lot. And in Scotland, it's maybe easier to use a van like this more often in Scotland due to the right to roam and the legislation up here. I don't know enough about it, so don't, any trolls out there or keyboard warriors, don't start putting stuff in the comments. You'll be branded a special person if you do that, one of the special people. But anyway, I'm going to stop yabbering on now. It is a fantastic thing to have. does cost a lot, but it affords you freedom in getting out and as a base for doing so many things. So would I do it again? Of course I will. Will I buy exactly the same sort of van next time? Who knows? I'll be a few years yet, because I need to be saving. Yeah, either that, or unless you can, recommend my video, post it out to another, 10 of your friends. If every person that watched this video got 10 of their friends to subscribe, I might get more money through ad revenue. I think from this video I'll get maybe £8 or £9. There's a lot of videos needing to add up to be able to buy a van if I'm only getting £8 or £9 a video. Just as well I don't do this as a full-time job, eh? Anyway, right, shut up, I'm speaking rubbish. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this has been quite useful for you. I'll post a link down below to my campervan playlists, and also to the video where I did an initial review of this van, which might be quite informative if you like this one. So thanks for watching, stay safe out there. I'll see you for a more, this isn't my usual thing, by the way. I don't usually do reviews and all that sort of stuff. I'm usually up in the hills or out gallivanting in a tent or in the van or what have you. So yeah, stay safe, and I'll see you next week for another adventure.